विश्वोदयस्थितितोलय नियतिप्रताय ज्ञानप्रताय विबुधासुर सौख्य दुःख सत्कारणाय विददाय नमो नमस्ते। यो विप्रलिम्ब विपरीतमधिप्रबोधान् वादानरस्य कृतवान् भुवितत्ववादं सर्वेश्वरो हरिरीति प्रतिपादकं तम् आनन्दतीर्थमुनिवयं नमामि। पूज्याय राघवेन्द्राय सत्यधर्मरताय च भजतां कल्पवृक्षाय नमतां कामधेनुवे। सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति. Welcome friends again, because as we are going to see the mantras, one point, the next mantra will be going. Before that, we discussed a lot about the earlier mantra, because in fact one particular word we took it, how the three acharyas interpreted, like Anya Prukti Gatiratra Nasti, one word, how Shankaracharya has interpreted, so is Ramanujacharya and Madhvacharya. They have given the interpretation and all. So when they have given interpretation and all, one of the things, why, because how they could give an interpretation, we have already covered, because every word, every sentence, every sort of a letters, in the Vedas and Upanishad and all, Kanishta Trayartha. In fact, this has been brought out very clearly by Srimad Madhvacharya. Madhvacharya said, why so many sort of philosophies are, becoming sprawling around from the same focus on the same text. He said, yes, it is the same text. It's Shrutis, not even text. It is Shrutis, what heard, because being, even the intonation, the pronunciation changes, the word changes, the meaning changes. The meaning what you are going to absorb and internalize, that's going to change. That's why he said, Kanishta Trayartaha. When the Kanishta Trayartaha is there, that is where exactly, because he will have to appreciate others' point of view. It's not that, because it is, you don't have to neglect. Just because, you have got a particular view and others have got a different view, you don't have to neglect, because it is their view. It is also gives that view. But you will have to find how your view can be well established with the Srutis, as well as, what are the Pramanas, what is available in the all the scriptures, all the Agamas. So that's why in the Vishnu Tattva Nirnaya, the very first mantra, in the Mangalacharanam, and after Mangalacharanam, the very first mantra is says, Sadagamaika Vigneyam Samatinda Characharam. Because when you say whatever you are saying, finally you will be able to know from these scriptures only. Scriptures, Agamas, and internalizing through Guru only you will be able to know. You will not be able to do yourself. You have got to get internalized that knowledge through the appropriate Shrutis. But when a Shruti, when a Guru gives it, he gives it, because when the Shruti gets married, with the intuition of the teacher, that is what finally he gives it. How he gives it? You get the same intuition as your Guru. For that he prepares, so that, you don't always get influenced by your experience, by what happened, what others said. You go on doing it and all. In fact, before Madhvacharya, there were 21 philosophy, 21 type of interpretation. Madhvacharya is considered to be the 22nd interpretation, maybe Dvaita. The two Dvaitas, two, because the Dvaita incidentally came because this was the 22nd interpretation of the Brahma Sutra Bhashyam, and, because the interpretation of the Gita as well as, the Upanishad. That's why he chose to write the Bhashyas on all the 10 Upanishads. And when he chose to write all the 10 Upanishads, all the Acharyas, when Shankaracharya wrote, he wrote it, and he also gives the reason for his interpretation. They all get pramanas, as well as, how they have found, they arrived at that particular decision. For that, there is a concept, because in fact, this is called a research craft. Research craft, even today, modern day research, right? Research, those who are doing scientifically and otherwise. Even we have also done some dissertations and all, because Vidya has done her PhD and all those things they have done. The research craft, what they are trying to prove, what are all the point of view which can counter, which can, because always need to be, what are all the questions that may arise, what you are propounding. That is called Purva Paksha. See, whenever you see, all these some of the pravachanas and so on, they will say it is a Purva Paksha. Purva Paksha in the sense, what are all the objections that may come? When you are proposing a theory or a philosophy, what are all the objections that will become? Then, you become a devil's advocate. So trying to find if that is the objection, how am I to clarify that objection? That is how the final clarity comes. All these acharyas have gone about that. Everyone has got a Purva Paksha at that point of time. In Shankara Bhashya also they will say this is the Purva Paksha. Purva Paksha in the sense these are all the objections that may arise. How that objections have been dealt with, so that the clarity will be there, for the lineage of, the disciples, who will be coming, who will be understanding and who will be propagating through Shrutis only, no textbooks. Shankara Bhashya, he has not given a textbook, it's all Shrutis. So how to, because therefore to understand, you will have to very clearly listen to your Guru. Even a small, because misspelt word, or if you are taking wrongly the word into you, the entire things will change. Some other things may happen and all. That's why, even Advaita, pure Advaita is there. There are people who are proposing a lot of different views on Advaita also. Followers of Advaita also got different ways of, the following the Advaita, because that is personal experience. Basically, what they have given is, finally, this is the philosophy. And how you have to absorb, understand, is you will have to understand. So Guru creates such an environment for you. He brings you to such a level where you are able to give full attentiveness, like Nachiketa has got it from Yama. So he is able to give the same intuition into you. See, what you are feeling about, you will not be able to impart the intuition to your own children, nor we have got the intuition of our parents from us or our grandparents from us, because we were not been trained. What they have thought, what their experience was, they're totally different. They didn't have too much distractions that is taking away from you. When too much distraction takes away from you, you don't have any adhyatma. Adhyatma, you will have to go far inside. But whereas you are being drawn outside everywhere and all. That's how it happens. This is exactly being propounded by all these acharyas, the Purva Paksha. See, that is why when they said, because Anya Prokti Gatiratra Asti, when the interpretation was given, Anya Prokti, because Shankaracharya has given another interpretation, because there is the one in Anya Prakrit, because Anya Pratak, because one is not different from the Brahman. That's what it is. Anya Pratak. Pratak in the sense different. Anya Pratak, that is a Brahman, once you get that knowledge, Gatiratra Nasti, in the sense, because you will get the right knowledge. There will not be any doubt about it. Whereas when Madhvacharya has written, he is an Anya Prakriti, Anya, unless you know Brahman is Anya other than you will not be able to get the right knowledge. How he has written, so he has given his own reasons also. Purva Paksha, he has also taken, he has also given the reason, and he has also given the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Brahma Vaivarta Purana, which I said in the last week, one of the Puranas written by Vyasa, because Vyasa is the one who has written a Brahma Sutra Bhashyam. He himself has written the Purana. He has, because culled out and he brought it into. Likewise, other acharyas also could have brought out from other Puranas as well. Because see, why Vyasa should write so many Puranas and so many views and all? Because they wanted to be, maintain the integrity of the views. There could be so many views. But it is for you to understand, analyze, absorb, what is perfect for you at that point of time to enable you to transcend and elevate yourself. Upanishad, in the sense, because taking you Upanishad, it is elevating you. It's not only that, because the etymological meaning is sit by the side of the master, knee, he gives you the one, the highest knowledge, and you are able to shad, you are able to shad the truth. Shad is the highest truth you are able to get, that is Upanishad. But Madhvacharya's interpretation is it is elevate you. That elevates you is Upanishad. Upanayanam, why we call it? Upanayanam is elevating a person, from his, because mischievous ways to becoming someone capable of understanding and getting to Veda Dhyayana. Because that is why it is Upanayana and Upanishad, everything is always something to elevate you. And for that, you need the absorption, this Adhyatma knowledge. This is how it has been taken. And when it has been taken, they have given various interpretation and all. One last word, which we couldn't discuss last week, in that particular month, though we saw it, in Aniyanha Atarkyam Anupramanat. Aniyansi Adakam, that who doesn't have these qualities in the unqualified teacher who may be knowing everything, but who have not experienced the mystic experience of that, the entire energy and mystic experience. You should have experienced what is Guru has experienced. That is the same intuition. The mystic experience, I can just give one example because one of the things that I still remember. Some of the things I still remember, some of them are well, I think, because 50 years old and some of them are recently as 10 years old. The recent experience was, sometime it was a full moon day. We happened to be in Rishikesh at that point of time. It is some full moon day in December, maybe in somewhere around 12th December 2012 or something. When we were there, because in Rishikesh, it was a sort of wonderful, because it's a full moon and the moon was being reflected by the mighty Ganges, running, in a very, very suave and sterile, it's like a sing-song way, the river was going in a stream. That was wonderful to watch. Mild flow of water, only that was listening to the ears. Everything was silent. No halla gulla and all, no sort of a chaos there and all. And we were walking through the Lakshman Jula across the river and all. As we were walking through the Lakshman Jula, that is wonderful. You didn't have anything to think about, because anything, what happened, how to plan tomorrow, which train to catch, how difficult, nothing was there. We totally, everything was taken out. You are at that one particular point of time, it's totally emptiness, mere emptiness. And nothing was there at that point of time. The wonderful music of Rakesh Chaurashia was being played by someone who is selling the CDs and all this. His song was so touching the heart, emotions. And in fact, because it is so pleasant, when you walk through the entire Lakshman Jula, I think the world was a wonderful place to live in, only there. The moment you come out of that, it may not be a wonderful place. That is the one. That mystic experience when you are getting, but you are not bothering about, because what are you going to take for dinner? Will it be available? Because it was a cold, it is December. How are you going to manage the cold? Nothing and all, because tomorrow morning, where to go? Nothing, no thought was there. You were at the virtual present moment in such a wonderful atmosphere. You got only the full moon to see, reflecting the mighty Ganges in its pristine, pure flow, like any other. It is a river, because you cannot imagine how it was flowing and all. And on both sides of the bank, was just glittering with the moonlight and no chaos, nothing, and you were listening to the music. That was a mystic experience. This is exactly what has been presumably said by Navkarasar, Masil Vinayum, Malay Madhyamum, Vesu Chandranum, Vingina Veninum, Eason Moose Wandari Poigayum Pondrade, Eason and then Ineadi Nidale. But perhaps that is the highest one can experience that. That is why this mantra says, Aniyan hi atarkyam anupramanat. You cannot be doing the tarka by discussing, by debating, we will not be able to find. It's not a pattimandram, where you can, everyone expresses an opinion, you will not be able to come to a conclusion. The takkam, because nothing, it's beyond logic. Because when everything is going well, you go by the logic, I know why he should have done like that, he didn't do that, you will try to give advice because, you have experienced and all. But when something fails for you, then you think. When something fails, then reason fails, faith begins. I've done everything perfect. I've done everything what ought to be done as told by others, as seen by me and observed by me, till something happens. Then because then only comes how faith begins. And because when faith begins, then only you try to get into the Gatna, why God is not looking at me, why he has not given me the right idea, right thought, why is he sort of experimenting with me, because he's only experimenting with me. Others are all, because that's how, because you think all others are in their own bliss, but you don't know the wars they are fighting. You don't know the battles they are having. They may be having hundreds of battles, but you think like that and all. But when you come to realize why it should not happen to me, it is happening to so many other people. It has happened to so many other people. Why can't it happen to me? Am I not? I'm not special one. I am like anyone else who has come into this in this earth to experience. He has given me, because he has given it as a sort of a testing center. It's a lab. Here you come into the lab to experiment yourself and find yourself on who you are. So once that comes, then, because you will try to find, because why it happened, because he said, even if it happens, how to take it. So accepting the things, it is easier to said done. Accepting the things, it's not to accept and keep quiet, because suffer. Accepting the things to take it as a challenge. Try to find a way out. Not to be, drowned by, what is happening and giving up everything and all, because it is, because I have to accept. My religion has told me, accept what comes. It's not that is what, Bhagavad Gita, why it is being considered as that when he thought everything has to be done, you have to pick up your Gandiva and fight it. You are not here to, because down, this has happened to me, relatives are there, they will be killed, and because then finally the ladies will be with their husband, the entire, it's all going to happen. It will happen to you, it will happen to others also, but you are in the battlefield, you will have to fight. That's why there is no point thinking, why it is happening to me, why the others are, because when you feel others are happy and other things, you are not fit for Adhyatma at all. For Adhyatma, 2-3 important basics are required. One is you should not have any complaint. You should not be complaining, and you should not hold anyone else responsible. You should be holding yourself responsible. When you are not able to take the responsibility, that is what the Hindi they call, you are covered. So that is why, because you cannot take that is exactly what he is telling. Anya tarkyameva anupramana, because what is happening? We are subtle, Jiva is subtle, but he is subtler than the subtlest. So you are trying to get the knowledge to him. So that means, if something happens, you are not able to get through, and you are finding it to have your way out and everything and all. You cannot be holding others, because if it is there, I would have done. If I have born 10 years before, I would have become a prime minister. You can't say everyone would not become a prime minister and all. You will do whatever you will beget what you are doing. You cannot change the output. What comes in will only go out. That is the theory, whether it is computer science and all, what goes in will come out that only. If you give garbage in, garbage out, that's what they say. That is a computer language. You cannot get something, wonderful out of that. But that is why, because why we are having these problems and all, because so many garbages are coming into your mind. So many garbages, that comes in our thoughts. Because we see so many things. You see, you open the newspaper, you have got garbages out of garbages, tons of garbages comes. And then you think, because if that has happened to me, if it happens to me also, or if it happens to someone known to me, because that is klesha. You cannot have that klesha, because that is where yoga, when you are telling you should be klesha free, you can't have any klesha. So once you are not having klesha, then you will be free from that and all. So once that garbage comes, then you will be able to remove. That will be able to do only when you will get Adhyatma. See, what is happening is so many things, it's not that they're all happenings, and some are reported, some are not reported, some are colored and reported. Because the sensation study, the news, unless it is sensational, no one will be reading it. So many things are there and all. But it's not that you maybe, you think, I am a part of the society, you'll have to bother. But what are you going to do? Can you do anything? If you can't do anything, you just forget that. Perhaps you have to see, because how am I to find, because then what happens, these things pump in, they bombard, the facility of thoughts comes. All thoughts are negative thoughts that comes, they take away. You will not be able to get it, and you cannot be sort of debating on the negative thoughts. Atarkyam, that is why, because all Pattimandam, where you discuss, whether the God is not there or God is there and all, what is there to discuss? If you think, the God is not there, you take it as a God there. Undandral undu, illai endral illai, because that's what, the Kannadasan wrote. See, you take it like that, but how does it affect you? Because you are not going to convert someone here and all. We are not here to change the world. We will have to elevate ourselves to avoid to get all this garbage in, garbage out. That is why with the Adhyatma, there is second sloka, in the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Kutasva Kashmalam idam vishame samupastitam. Kutasva Kashmalam. Kashmalam in the sense it is a gutter. Where do you get this gutter? When he says he's worried about, my grandfather is there, my relatives are there, the ladies will be without their husband, the children will be without their father, all those things. What are you talking about? It will be going to happen to all others, those who are going to participate in the war. The war is, you have to accept the challenge. Accept what comes in beings, because just accept and don't sit. You will have to fight. That is exactly. Don't go by the logic, because logic will take you, if this happens, if that doesn't happen at all. There is no question. The logic will not work when you get a transcendental elevation. You don't go find the reasons. One of the reasons why we are not able to explain to the youngsters, or youngsters want to be explained everything with the logic. First thing we have to tell them, with the logic, you will not be able to understand. Not that I will not be able to explain. I will be able to explain, but you will not be able to understand unless you come out of the logic. Unless, one or two mystic experiences you should have had. When you are about to, because it has happened to me, us also, because almost you are about to miss the international flight, because somehow, you went there and someone was waiting there. Finally, he just allowed even the doors was to be closed. These things have happened to a lot of people also. When it happens, it is a mystic experience. It is not that, because it's not a royal right, for you, it has to be open. It would have normally been closed. But it would have happened to you at that point of time because you had full focus, that somehow you will have to get in. And so you must have tried everything, because your vibration has worked out, because the cosmic vibration worked out. Something happened so that you were able to get in. That's what I repeatedly say. We were all at the right place at the right time all through our life, without which, we would not be where we are here now. And we should be grateful to that. That gratitude is because you were in a place, but it has not worked out. You shifted to a different location, different city, and there it has worked out. How it happened? You can't say, because I came to know everything. You can't give credit to yourself, but how the thought has come, how someone has taken you. That is the grace of the God. Why it is not happening to so many other people? Why it is happening only to you? You are not so special. I am having the same body, same hands, legs, and all. I am doing the same dirty things that others are also doing. Or I am saying doing the same good things, which I think is good and others are also doing. That doesn't mean anything. That is why, he says, don't go by the logic when you are trying to understand any great concept. That means, you don't give up the logic and all. Logic will work out to some extent. When you are able to, when you have to discriminate, then logic works. What is good or what is not good, because how you have understood, because it is not by what someone has said should not compel you to accept or detest something. It is by your own experience. I have seen it has worked for me, so I am taking it up. So that will work for you. This is because the last sentence was so important in that particular mantra. That is why we will have to go again, because logic. That is how finally when the intuition comes, the guru finally makes it fit for you, so that the same intuition what is he getting is coming into you. So don't depend on the tarka logic. It will not work for you, and it will work up to the extent to a discrimination. The intellect comes up to that stage. After that, intellect also doesn't work. It is the intuition that is working. I just want to quote the example long before I have quoted in the Isavasya Upanishad, and as well as sometime in the Keno Upanishad. It is like a pole vault. All the knowledge, wisdom, intellect, discrimination, your position, power, education, everything and all, it is like a pole. And when because what does it mean finally, because you will have to get yourself in the pole vault, you will have to only fold the pole. And when you try to go and clear the distance, whatever it is there and all, to create a world record, like the Russian who used to do it year after year. So when you put the entire stick, into that pole vault stick into the cog, and when you rise up, you will have to leave the pole. You can't hold the pole to cross it. So the intellect and all will take you to there. After that, once you get into that elevated stage, it is only the intuition which helps. The intuition is the highest knowledge. So this has been beautifully said in our own Upanishad only, in Taittiriya Upanishad, which we will be covering, because after a few of the Upanishad which are yet to be covered, Satprashna Upanishad and Atharva Upanishad, otherwise called Mundaka Upanishad and all, we will be going that, Chandogya Upanishad, we will go all those things. When we go there, in one particular verse is there in Taittiriya Upanishad, Yato Vacho Nivartante Samprapya Saha. Because the words, they take you to a level only. Afterwards, it returns. By words, I will not be able to give you the entire knowledge of Brahman to you. It is for you to get it further. It is like a pole vault. You take the pole, take it and go to the level, then you will have to do yourself. The responsibility is yours. You will have to get that. Yato vacho nivartante samprapya saha, that's the highest word. But once you are creating, sort of always, the accepting the things or accepting the challenges, everything will be a challenge. Today, because today morning, because whatever I do, early morning, right from the day, right from the time I come here for the entire, the discussion, it is a challenge, because so many things I have to manage and finally come. But, because you got used to, because you are meeting the challenges, it's not something new. Likewise, when we are accepting, always, we should not be cowed down by that. Majjanti, you should not get drowned by that. You should try to accept that. When you try to accept, don't go always. Discrimination is good. Logic is good. Intellect is good. The wisdom, whatever you got, you can also ask so many, even astrological predictions are also good to the extent, because you take it only at the value in it to which you should attribute it. It's not something, because you take it and just for them. Because maybe, if it enables you to take a positive view, take it, that's all. Otherwise, leave it at that. Everything has to be left as it is. Finally, it has to come like that. When you come to that, then you are able to hold on. This is the way you will be able to get the highest knowledge. Because the Yama has not still disclosed in the third question, the answer for the third question has not come. Before that, he has given all these preparations. Because people, we are all in this world, we only by the logic, what's happening, the precedents, the experience, whatever happened. This is what has happened. That is why now, having told you, having prepared to you to give you this entire thing, this all the acharyas, the interpretation, whatever they have said. Don't go only by logic, because logic will not help you. And finally, you will have to get it from Ananya Prokta, one, who is able to tell you the right knowledge. The right knowledge is because in the Tattvavada, the one who knows I am, me and Brahman are different, and in the Mayavada or Advaita, they say, because one who knows, there is no Anya, because we are one and the same. Likewise, they have given the interpretation and all. Whatever the interpretation, if you experience, if you are able to get that highest level of the knowledge, where you are able to feel that you don't have anything, you don't have any more pole to hold, and you have gone to the level, when, because nothing is there, no desire is there. And you are into the elevated bliss, and the bliss is something, which you will try to, even if a fraction, you will like to fold in for ever, it is like that. As I said, because walking on a Lakshman Jula on a full moon day, because I cannot do every day, and once I went there in 2012, I still remember that I savor that experience. That gives me, because how, because why should not be, because you take other things, you need something better than, because whatever little difficulties that comes in the life, whatever little happiness, because that happiness is much more than what you would cherish, savor. So those are all the things. Like, my experience in Mantralaya was totally different, which I hold to my heart. That takes you, that guides you, that is mooring, that is giving me the mooring to stand, on a sound straight. Otherwise, you could easily be broken into pieces, with every experience that is coming into and all. Likewise, this is what they are saying, and don't go by, because why, people go to Mantralayam and do this seva and all those things. You cannot have the, why do you seva? Because by doing, instead of doing the seva, why don't you study this? Why don't you do this? So many people will say they will all do everything and all. But to grasp that experience and convert it into something of a excellence that needs God's grace, for that only you are doing. That will not come so easily. No logic will work. How it happened to him, how he did it and all, likewise. And because by chance, you meet someone, he gives you a different direction, you take a different course, or you take a different line of thinking, or you altogether different everything, and everything works for you. How that happens, because that's all God's grace. And how it happens when we are able to get into that, because finally, you are doing it, but someone within you is getting it done. Naham karta hari karta, because that's what, the adage says. It is not I do it, it is he who is getting it done by me. I am an instrument. Once you know you are an instrument, nothing is to worry. You will always, you will be used for the right purposes. This is what we are doing. In next mantra 1.2.9 in the page 46, continuing that. Nayesha tarkena mati apaneya. Nadesha tarkena matirapaneya prokta anyenava sugyanaya preshta. This is what the first sentence says. Not through the argumentation can this knowledge can be obtained. This is the simple meaning of that. It is because you will have to get your own experience. And for that experience, you listen to that, you try to have that. But then every time what you have that, that's all. Then afterwards, whatever you do, try to focus on what you are doing to the fullest possible extent. Give your heart out. See, even if I am polishing, a small vessel, let me do it to the best. Even if I have to clean my toilet, let me do it, so that no one else can do it better. Let me say anything what I am doing. See, in fact, because when Bhagavad Gita was translated by one US, the great gentleman, he's a philosopher, and he's also a sociologist, A.H. Baum, A.H.B.A.L.M. Baum. His name is A.H. Baum. He has given the name called Pride of Excellence. What Bhagavad Gita, after doing that in Krishna, is everything, he says, and you just surrender to me. Sarvadharman paridhyacya mamekam charanam kritam. When he says, you do everything and all that, because you do everything and keep quiet. That's not the case. What he says every time, when he invokes, when he said, this, starting from the second chapter onwards, when he says, you should not have any gutters to enter into your mind. Kutastva kashmalam vidam. Kashmalam is a word that has been used in Bhagavad Gita. In fact, kashmalam, we all know it is, but gutters. You should not allow it to enter, because so what happens, assuming, even irrespective of, that we know, it is not a desirable thought. It's a dirty thought. Let us say it is a dirty thought. It comes to our mind. What to do? Because once you know it is a dirty thought, I should not be taken over by the thought. And I should be able to deal with the thought. How is it that? Because when a thought comes, immediately the desire comes. Desire comes means you act on that to get whatever you want. So that is where how to happen. That is why what I say, when you are giving the thought, you don't reject it. You go about it. But suddenly, the thought will again come. It will not leave you. It will like a fuzzilate when it comes. You just slowly, because slowly the intensity will come down. The slowly intensity will come. This is what they say. You cannot consciously do all these things. This you will be able to do when you are doing anything. You put your heart into the very thing what you are doing. Then you will have everything perfect. If you want to be a mechanical engineer, you be an outstanding mechanical engineer. If you want to do, because even construct a house, you construct in such a way, because the beautifully, it should be eco-friendly, as well as, it should have used the natural material, should have given all the facilities and other things and all. But at the same time, it should have used the minimum resources that is available, because that is the excellence. The dexterously you do it without any infantile inferiority. So everything what Bhagavad Gita tells you is go to that extent. Once you do, all other thoughts will not come. Supposing, because you are working on an important IT case, if someone comes, morning, tomorrow morning, which vegetable should I cut? Will you be bothered about it? Because they will be, I think, your house, they will be annoyed, because you don't have any even the courtesy to answer and all. But then you will be fully involved into that because you have to deal with that. That is the right thing in your hand. That's why Mahatma Gandhi is, I think, because you might have seen in all other how to deal with the customer is the one, who is not a burden on us. He is giving us an opportunity to serve, because as a barrister he has written, and you will see, so many of his writing in the. Yeah, that is true. That is exactly Bhagavad Gita. You just give importance to what you have to do at this point of time. And what is that you are going to do next moment and all. Once you do that, that excellence comes. So therefore, what they say, Naisha Tarkena Matirapani. When you are trying to Tarka, you are trying to waste the time, the God-given time. You got only 36,500 days to live if you are going to live for 100 years, of which one third will go in sleep, and rest of it, whatever little come, because you will not be able to concentrate on whatever, you got the priority and all. You do that. Naisha Tarkena Matira Apaneya. Apaneya in the sense it's got two meanings. It is just, the play of the Sandhi, because the Vyakarana of Sanskrit. Apaneya, Aneya, and Apaneya. Two words are there. Apaneya is itself divided into two. Aneya in the sense it's bring about the right intuition. Aneya. Without logic. Na esha tarkani. Without logic, you will be able to get the right intuition. Another is Apaneya in the sense the logic will not destroy whatever wisdom you have gathered. Once you are staunch, you have got the intuition, no amount of logic will destroy. Because you will not be weaned away. By your experience, you got something right, which cannot be it cannot be explained by logic. Certainly, it can't be explained by logic. So many people get cured. Suddenly, he's saying he had a symptom of cancer. He did that. Finally, they found there is no trace of cancer. It has come. That means it's a mystic experience. It's not the medicine that has not worked. Because as I was telling, medicine, after all, it can work up to 10%, 20%. Rest of it are all your mind. It is like, medicine is like, you just hold it, for a positive. Yes, because I have to take it, because this is, I should not leave it, because this is the worldly ways. But then, more you get out of your mind, once your mind is being brought into, that's why in lot of Adayar Cancer Institute and all, now they are making people to listen to the wonderful music. Even there are a lot of NGOs have come, because people who can't afford, for them they are giving these type of things and give a dietary, because less, the spicy, less salt, the dieters, they are giving it. Because a lot of people we know, because in Madras itself, a lot of NGOs are there. So is in Bombay, in Hyderabad, everything and all. When they do it, what happens is you get the mind, the placebo that works. When the placebo works, you got the power. Ida Pingala Sushmana Nadi, when he says it gets the energy. When it gets the energy, automatically it gets the self-cure. For all imperfections or afflictions in your body, it can get itself cured. Unfortunately, we interfere with its working because we want a short-term solution. We want a fast solution, like a fast food, we take the medicines. Nowadays, no doctor touches you. You go on telling your symptoms, he will add, because laundry list of medicines. You just go and buy, and someone will give you 10%, 15% discount, and you will have variety of you got a museum of medicines, and you take it, and then you think, he has given the medicine, it will happen. It will not happen at all. Unless you are able to put your mind to attention, because and then you are able to get the bliss in your own way, because it's not with me, because I'm getting you to, I'm going to have a robust body, I'm going to have, because why meditation, what we are doing the meditation after this class, so that you get into the mental tuning, because so then you, nothing externally is required for you. Everything is internal. In fact, our forefathers didn't have so many such choices of medicines. They are all having some home medicines only. With that, they were finding themselves to live upon this earth. Why we are not able to do it? Because we have become addicted. We have been subjugated. We have been subsumed in the culture and all. Without that, and of course, now with the modern compulsions into hand, because you will have to be work from home or work at home or work away from home, all whatever it is there and all. So you don't have any time, and even you don't have any time to listen within your family, or even when you have to talk to someone and all, because the times, the things are like that. Times have changed. So then you think, this is the way, I don't have the time to do meditation and all. Meditation certainly you can do if you determine to do. Are you not taking time to watch some game, or are you not taking a time to do something for that? And that is for your own determination. When you are trying to get those, because no logic will work for there. So you cannot assign a time, because you put a timetable 9 to 10, I will do it. Never happens. Even if you plan, there is an atmospheric interference is there. Adi Baudika, what we have seen. Adi Adhyatmika, Adi Baudika, Adi Devika, all those things are there. Suddenly the power will go. You are trying, then only you will think, I will do everything today, complete it within an hour in I will see the email and the power will just go. What will you do? It's because likewise there are so many things. But then you should not get, immediately subsumed by that. You should find, what best next I can do. Because likewise, because then you try to concentrate on that. So give your full attention, energy onto that. Then you become the pride of excellence, nothing but the Bhagavad Gita, as the interpretation done in US. They have done it, they have understood it, they have taken it. Here, we have got, God will take care of everything. God can't do all your things because God is not experiencing it. You are experiencing it. And He is not desiring it. He is there as a Sakshi. This is what exactly, because one of the verses, the Brahma Vaivatika Purana, I just thought, I will, last week I will quote it, and perhaps, I didn't have the time to quote. He says, because whatever you are doing is, you are doing it. But I am there to give you all the energy and power to do it. How are you going to use it? So that is why he says, Jivo mat pratibhimbascha sarvatra sarva jivishu. See, I am pratibhimba because my rays are there. Because in Tattvavada says we are all pratibhimba. This is same Brahma Vaivarta Purana also says. Madhvacharya has taken the Brahma Vaivarta Purana as an evidence, as a hallmark of quote, to elicit his point of view from this Upanishad Bhashya. So then, Sarvatra Sarva Jivishu, Bhokta Shubha Shubhanam, you are going to enjoy. He is not going to enjoy. He is there. He has given you the power. Even Vishishtadvaita, you are a Sarira Mimamsikam in the sense, you may be a part of the body, but you are getting it done. He is not getting it done. But your job is, since being a part of the body, since your fingers have to do the service to you and your hands have to do the service to you, you have to do the Bhagavat Kainkaryam. That's what Bhagavat Kainkaryam, in the sense whom you do Bhagavat, because Bhagavat, because it's invisible, you will not be able to see. You can go and see in the temples and that, but finally you will be seeing it in the form of human beings, the beings, animals, and all. You will have to do the service to them. That is Bhagavat Kainkaryam. Dasa anu dasa, when it came to dasas, you have to be a dasa. Dasa anu dasa. That is how he says. That is how it has to be done. That is how exactly Vivekananda said it. So this is exactly what the Bhokta Subhasavanam Chakarta Karmanam Sada. You are the one who is doing karmana. You have to do karma. Why you have to do karma? In the second chapter, when he says, because don't get disheartened and sit tight and all, take your Gandhipa and fight. Because that is your duty. You will have to do the duty. Kurvate karmani satpritaye sajjanaha. That's what in the Dvada Shotram, when he says, you have to do the karmani which is pleasing to everyone. That is why Nana Janasya Shushushu Karma. Whoever, because you send your service to the humanity, because in terms of words, in terms of deeds, or in terms of anything, you can materially help, that is the karma. Not karma, I am doing Sandhyavandanam, that is karma. That's karma, Nitya karma. That Nitya karma is required to bring you into discipline. You cannot give it up. You cannot say karma in the sense I am doing Sandhyavandanam, I am doing Sudarshana Homam, that you are doing it because so that all these ill will, all afflictions may be eroded, and you will be getting a very clarity of thought, and you will be able to. That is all. But the karma is you will have to serve the humanity. That is what exactly Vivekananda brought about in the Neo Vedanta. You have to serve the humanity. Finally, God, where do you see the God? Is because unless you go and Unless you go into Adhyatma and realize in the flash, that is gone. But finally, what is that? That power is to serve others only. And serve the humanity, serve the people around, or if not, give the good words. But you don't have to, because you are not here to change the world, but you have to serve the world. That has to be understood, because everyone thinks they want to change the world. The politicians and leaders, they want to change the world because they think, all are idiots, we want to change. Bureaucrats want to do that only. But that is not, you have to serve the world. That's why Sardar Patel, when the Indian Administrative Services Academy was formed, they have to be told they are the servants of the people. But they never acted like servants of the people. They acted like masters of the people. They come with all the paraphernalia, and you have to go and wait, and who is an IAS and who is not an IAS, because the entire paraphernalia will come around him. You are nobody, you will be there and all. That's how. Because this is exactly, because for this show and all, pump and show will not work. This is exactly in Brahma Vaivarta Purana when he said, this is what Madhvacharya has quoted. In fact, they give Jivo me Pratibimbascha Karma Bhoga Adhikara. When we as a Pratibimba, what is my Adhikara? Karma Bhoga as per my account. Prarabdha Karma, I will have to rather get through this life. And that is my Bhoga, and because whatever I enjoy, I am going to create karma for that further. But then once you have Sat Karma, Kurvati Karmani Yat Prite Sajanaha, when you are doing everything for the common good of everyone, common good of your family, common good of your people around that, common good of the people around. Because when you not trying to, because even when you are talking industry, making an industry, that's common good of so many people. You take the effort, because I would have done this, had I been given and all, those empty words will not serve. If you want to do it, do it. If you can't do it, because then you will not go on giving, you will give me only logic. That's what exactly they say. Don't go by the logic to explain your all failures and faults. Go by the experience and go about it, go forward. That's what exactly they say. This is exactly the meaning of that here, because next sentence is Yam Tvam Apaha. He's telling, because this is the word, Yama is talking to Nachiketa. Na Yesha Tarkena Madirapaneya, because it brings you all the fantastic knowledge, and the logic, will not, you got such a great knowledge, the logic will not be able to destroy that. You will not give in to logic. Because logic doesn't have any meaning. Yato vacho nivartante. That is the what exactly Taittiriya Upanishad said, because words will fail, because the logic will not go. They are transcendental. You have got the mystic experience. You have experienced yourself. Why can't you take it? And prokta anyenava sugyane preshtaha, because like prokta, because when taught by one who doesn't know the exact knowledge, one who has got the knowledge but not the experience, you will not be able to get. This is exactly Madhvacharya has used, because since this word prokta anyena was how it has been interpreted, the same interpretation he wanted to keep it vakya seshaha, and then when the both meanings have to be married together, because that will have to be for the following verse and all, he has kept the same meaning. Anya in the sense one who is not the same, one who is having the knowledge but doesn't have the mystical experience, as well as the one who knows that is different from Brahman. That is what he has used. Whereas Shankaracharya has got a different line of thought. Here he says, because as it has been said, once you have been told, Anya Prakrit, in the sense one who feels that he is not other than the self, you will get it. And the Tarka will not be able to destroy that wisdom. In the sense, don't get into the argument over this. Once you have understood, once you have elevated, go by this. This is what the Acharyas have used to do it. So therefore, once you know what is good for you, all of us must have had a different experience. All of us must be traveling by train, all of us must be traveling by... We might be having our own sort of a angle of traveling, because sometimes, I will book it in advance. Sometimes I will go by sleeper. Sometimes I will go, because it might have worked for me, because I have experienced, I go by that. And where I will feel it's not that, because how I am able to get through without minimum discomfort. That's how when I am doing it. Each of us experience may be different. So you go by your experience, don't go by the logic. Someone says, no, because I have gone like that. Because his experience will not be able to replace your inexperience. and nor your experience is going to replace his. You go by what is good for you, understand, go by the thoughts and do that. And wherever you do perfectly, don't miss, because don't take things for granted. You do everything perfectly. That's what they say. Yam pa apaha satyadriti vata asi. Satyadriti is because you have got such a steadfastness to find the actual final truth that is good for me. So you have not given up, by so many people when it has been offered, you will be given Vittaha, you will be given, Apsara, everything and all. You are not yielded to anything because you wanted to find only one truth. You have come here for this. Why you have come? Why did you follow that? You have left the body and come here as a soul. Having come, you will not be thinking of, what is happening, down the earth. Anyway, once you go back to the earth, all these things are going to be waiting for you. Whether you want to accept or reject it is up to you. But you being a one who has elevated so much, you will not be accepted because you have never accepted anything when it is offered on a platter. Paricharya, because even when it was given to your doorstep without any effort, in earth you will have to take every effort to get the money, to get the bank balance, to get 5 houses, 5 cars, everything and all. Anything we want to multiples, everything and all, you want to have it, you have to, without effort, when it was done, you were not accepted that. He's praising Nachiketa here. Twadrigno, likewise. Bhuyan Nachiketa Pratishtahat. Because na Bhuyan, because like you. Twadrikto like you, na Bhuyan, because there is no one I find in the earth. Nachiketa Prashtaha, who is got steadfast, who is established in such a pursuit of knowledge. So therefore, what it says is the sum and substance of it there. You got your own experience. You followed it. Everything you do it to the perfection. Don't go by someone's words. He might have succeeded by doing that. And you might be so enamored of him. So he may be so famous. In fact, he might have proved to the world, in terms of the metrics of the world as a success. Doesn't need at all. You go by what you feel internally, by your own experience. It is the greatness of you. Accept the greatness of you. You have got your own experience. You have understood it. You go by that. Don't go by someone. Not tarkena, because don't give in. Because what happens is when you are able to get to the highest wisdom and pursue your own path, someone comes, puts some, seed thoughts, they give it, and then you give it. You just, get distracted. Finally, you are not able to achieve. Don't go by that. And he is giving the example of Nachiketa here. Yama is saying, exemplary standard set by Nachiketa. You are Satyadrit. You have not given up. Once you have taken it, hold on to that. Get it done. Get it to go up to the hilt, last mile. Don't give up. That is what arise, awake, because when Vivekananda said, that's also coming in the same Upanishad. We will see the same words here. This is it. Give up not, because that's what it says. Same thing it says. Therefore, but only thing is, once you know something good, but you have got the bond, just because someone says, don't get wind away. Most of the people get wind away because they have been, look, you don't know, he has done so many things. So don't do all those things. That is what Upanishad says. With this today, we will just try to complete. And this is what, we will have to hold our experience. You have to hold in yourself a high esteem, self-love, what they call in meditation and all. Don't think you are someone who has to be told and all. You know what it is. But your experience can't be replaced by, I am saying, my saying or someone else saying. You've got to hold it on. You've got the right way to do it and all. Never give it up. You know it is the right way. And don't be win by everything and all. Something good comes, you consider that and otherwise reject that. You don't go by your own way. Nothing will happen. We want the entire world to be Nachiketa. That's what Yama wants it. And he holds him. You are the role model. You will have to be followed by everyone else. You are not given up just because when you are given so many things on a platter at your doorstep. Like Amazon, everything was delivered at you, but still, you didn't want anything at all. So with this, I think we'll complete. And because this 1.2.9 is one. Next one, he says how the experience are greater than everyone's experience. Because each of us, can have a lesson for that. We all have the potential for that. He tickles everyone to get into the next stage, next elevated state. With this, we'll complete today's proceedings. Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Punaktu, सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावतीतमस्तु मा विश्विदावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः